Incognia, the next-gen identity signal for fraud prevention and user verification. Best-in-class device ID, tamper detection, and exact location data fused together to create the new identification standard. Prevent fraud across the user journey without friction. Identify a user across devices with 17 times more precision than Face ID. A signal this strong belongs first in your fraud flow. Device signal plus location equals unmatched fraud prevention. Incognia, location identity for digital trust.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Soto, Senior Sales Engineer with Incognia. I want to talk to you a little bit about our unique approach before we jump into the demonstration. This layered approach provides organizations with a strong risk and fraud signal while providing confidence to enable more frictionless experiences for trusted users. Incognia's signal is ideal for organizations that want to bring in strong data signals into their own internal risk models and decisioning. Customers have the flexibility to integrate only key attributes and evidence from Incognia's risk assessment and decision off this data. Incognia supports cross-device fingerprinting, which means the solution can reliably identify users across multiple apps and devices, even after a factory reset. We achieve this by leveraging two components of proprietary technology. Exact location, by combining GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, fusing those signals together to form an identity signal. Persistent device fingerprint that is spoof-resistant, built on AI, and overcomes browser and OS challenges, as well as privacy restrictions. Incognia's location technology, or location fingerprint, has been developed over the last decade plus and has an accuracy of 7 to 10 feet indoors. Place-level location verification means Incognia can distinguish between good users and bad users on different floors in the same building. We can block fraudsters without disrupting good users and works anywhere, scales globally. We'll jump into the demonstration now and show you what a good user and a bad user looks like. All right, so what we're going to do here is take a look at what a good user and a bad user looks like for Incognia. We're focused on the login use case. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a good user. So the first one we're going to take a look at is this iPhone 13. And as we drill into it, we actually look and get the details for this particular device. So across the top, we have our timestamp. We have our event type is listed here. We have a low risk assessment. And you can also see the reasons why we've identified this particular risk assessment as low. You can see device integrity as well as a trusted location as being the reasons. In the middle, we've got our device IDs that are clearly stated here for installation, account, and assessment. You can also see the policy that's been applied to this particular assessment. Scrolling down just a bit, you can see the different pillars of evidence that we've got here. Starting with our device integrity, we're showing green across the board for root and jailbreak, emulator, GPS spoofing, and we even show the installation source. This is the very first thing that we check when we perform an assessment. We establish trust to make sure the signals coming from the device are indeed accurate. Scrolling down a bit more, we have our app tampering and the different sections here for app debugging, code injection, signature mismatch, all listed here, and they're all showing green. Looking at device fingerprinting, we can see how many accounts the device has accessed in the past 30 days, as well as any app reinstallations. App reinstallations are pretty important. They're indicative of whether or not a fraudster is attempting to break your device ID, which is something that we do really well. Additionally, when it comes to a location behavior, you can see clearly how far the device is from a trusted location. In this example, we're showing that it's just 13 meters away, so it's really close to a location that Incognia has seen before. And then you can also see here how location permissions have been allowed, the sensors are enabled, and whether or not we have a location match type, which is leveraging a Wi-Fi connection. All right, so now we're going to go back out and take a look at what a bad user looks like. So in this instance, again, we're going to go ahead and leverage another login use case. We're going to show you, pretty much the same that we just went through previously on the other example, which shows, again, login type. This one is high risk. We're showing you that multi-accounting is the primary reason. And as we hover over the +1, we can actually see this is due to multiple app installations. Scrolling down a bit, again, we have the device IDs are listed here for installation account and the assessment ID as well as the policy that's been applied to it. This time, we're going to see some different things relative to device fingerprinting. So starting again with device integrity, we can see the root and jailbreak are showing green, emulator is green, GPS spoofing is green, so we can trust the signals that are coming from it. But this time around, we actually see that this device accessed 8 accounts in the last 30 days. For this particular example, the rules have been configured to show that anything more than 4 accounts accessed in the previous 30 days are going to trigger an alert. So this is something that's out of range for this particular assessment. And then we also see here, we're triggering app reinstallations, right? We're kind of at the edge here, but we can see that when we combine the previously accessed accounts along with the app reinstallation, those two reasonings are combining for a high risk. Lastly, we can see on the location behavior, if you recall from the previous assessment we demonstrated earlier, there was that device was about 13 meters from a trusted location. This one's over 1,200 kilometers away from a trusted location. So again, that's a signal that says we shouldn't trust this device and trigger a high risk assessment. All right, Steve, those are the 2 examples I wanted to cover very briefly.
Thanks, Mike. Everyone, that was Mike Soto with Incognia. With Incognia, you can prevent fraud and scams without friction. Scan this QR code and you'll get access to Incognia's primer about device fingerprinting.